Going live. Let me just take these off just in case you can't hear me. Got the new background to set up. The Trestle bobblehead, signed bobblehead, the Woody Hayes bobblehead. I'm sorry, the Trestle signed mini helmet. The Trestle O2, What a Season to Remember. Some books back there, some pennants back there, some pray hard, work hard, trust God going on back there. Over here, we've got some more things, of course. Another Woody Hayes book, What It Means to Be a Buckeye by Jim Tressel. 2002 schedule football. Big Ten team rivalry going on there. Some fun background things that we got going on here, but changing some things up. Ohio State got mollywopped in the Cotton Bowl down in Dallas. Now, that is no sugarcoating it. There is no making it look better, making it sound better. There's nothing good about what took place from an Ohio State Buckeye perspective down in Dallas. Now, you can try and twist some things. You can try and make things seem better than what they were. But Ohio State just flat out got dominated. They got mauled, man. There's not many positives came out of that one. Julian Sand looked bad through another pick for a third, or was it fourth consecutive contest? Daggone, man. First quarter interception for the third or fourth straight game for Julian Sand. Did it versus Michigan, did it versus Indiana, and of course did it versus Miami. This one was a pick six. I think it was a second quarter interception by Sand. Just not going to get it done. You can't be coming off a 60-yard pass to Jeremiah Smith, your number one target, best player in the country, and follow that up with a pick six. Now, Jeremiah Smith missed the block. Hey, superstar, you gotta do superstar things. Not only with the football, but without it. Jeremiah, that pick six was on you, not on Julian. You missed your block. Had you engaged with the block and blocked someone, we'd still had the football, would at least gotten three. Totally different ball game. I think Miami still wins the football contest. They were better the team that night down in Dallas. They just were. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like the stream. Hit subscribe if you're new, of course. But yeah, Ohio State, man. There's a couple reasons they lost. Reuben Bain was one massive reason for sure. Reuben just absolutely dominated our offensive line. They won in the trenches. Let's be frank about it, man. They beat Ohio State up in the trenches. They beat them up in the trenches. It's that simple. They won the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively against Ohio State all night. There was no contest on who was taking it to the other team physically in the trenches. And that's been a Ryan Day thing. What's up? What's up, Max Coming? What's going on, man? Don't recognize the name, but appreciate you joining in, man. Subscribe if you're new. There was no question who dominated the trenches, man. That's been a Ryan Day thing his entire tenure at Ohio State. Now, I'm not a Ryan Day hater. I'm a Ryan Day critiquer for sure. There's no question about it. What's up, Ray J. Woods? Who do you think is better, Alabama or Georgia? I think at this point in the season, Georgia's the better team. At the beginning of the year, Alabama was better for sure. Sorry, but my broom is on right now, so what can you do? I don't know what you're talking about, but all right. Now, yeah, Ohio State, man, they got swept out of the playoffs, man. No, let's also be real about the Buckeye schedule, man. It was an easy schedule this year. It was a simple, easy schedule. We played Texas when they weren't their best. They whooped up on Michigan, so they made me happy twice. We beat them in our house in Columbus in the Horseshoe, and then they took it to Michigan in a bowl game, beating them. I think it was 38-27 final down in Orlando, or wherever the frick that meaningless bowl game was played between those two power programs, or once great powers. Texas made the playoffs 2 years in a row. They missed it under Steve Sarkisian in year 3 or year 4 with Stark there. Not acceptable. Buckeyes do travel down to Austin, Texas next year. Week 2 of the season, going to be a fun one there. But Miami moving on, of course. Miami will be playing versus Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl out in Glendale, Arizona, Phoenix proper. But Glendale, Arizona, the home of the Arizona Cardinals. Whereas the other semifinal, of course, is going to be a Big Ten semifinal. The Hoosiers and the Ducks. Who's going to take that one down in ATL, down in Atlanta, where Ohio State won the national championship last season? It's not a final this year. It's a semifinal down in the Peach State. Big Ten is going to evade the Oregon Ducks. It's a very pricey ticket. Cheapest I saw was $283. Cheapest for the Fiesta Bowl was $75. So it shows you who's interested in what game, how fast tickets are selling. Duck fans haven't been to a national championship game since 2014 when they lost to my Ohio State Buckeyes. Of course, Marcus Mariota won the Heisman Trophy that year. Mendoza, Indiana's first ever Heisman Trophy winner. I think, this is my opinion, I think it's really, really hard to beat a team twice. Very hard, but the Hoosiers are the best team left standing. Georgia's out. Ohio State's out. What's up? BC or Alberta? Alberta, sure. What's up, Cruise and Go? What's up, yo? So, Hoosiers are the best team left standing. Ohio State's out. Miami might be the second best team. I think it'll be Indiana versus Miami. That's just my pick. That's my opinion. Y'all can fight back. You can bark back. You can say all those things, but I think it's the Hoosiers. Yeah, probably, possibly. But I think Travis Hunter was pretty well deserved as well. Janty deserved it too, but there's every year there's somebody that deserves it just as much as the winner. Travis Hunter was very deserving in my opinion. So no, I don't think Janty got robbed. I think he's the best back in the nation. I thought Jeremiah Love was the best back this year. But he's not gonna, he didn't win the Heisman. It happens, Christian McCaffrey is the best running back his year, didn't win the Heisman. Deshaun Watson was the best quarterback that year, didn't win the Heisman. Lamar Jackson did. So anyway, things happen with the Heisman. It's just how it goes. But what you think though, Ray J? Ray J Woods, what you think? I think the Heisman's awesome. It's a lot of fun tradition to vote on. A lot of things to talk about. A lot of stir up controversy. You're gonna have different opinions from different regions of the nation. That's for sure. I think a Big Ten Heisman winner for the first time since Troy Smith in 2006 is a good thing for the conference, especially from a team that's not named Ohio State or Michigan, because those were the only two Heisman Trophy winning schools from the Big Ten previously. State and Michigan. It's good for the Big Ten to have another representative. The Hoosiers, as long as Signetti's there, they're going to be formidable. When he retires, we shall see what kind of infrastructure he's left behind for the next guy. They need to hire somebody when Signetti steps away, maybe in a decade's time. We'll find out how long he coaches in Bloomington, a great state. I'm trying to go to Indiana, Ohio State and Bloomington next season. That'll be a fun contest to watch live in person. A packed Indiana Memorial Stadium. That'll be a lot of fun to go see. A stadium I've never seen, a campus I've never seen. Would be a lot of fun to walk around with some of my boys from college. I went to college down in Indiana, but north of Indianapolis, not south like Bloomington is. Quite a ways from where I live up in the GR, Grand Rapids, Michigan area. So anyway, give me your thoughts down below on these semifinal matchups, man. I gave my opinion. The Hoosiers are moving on. The Canes are moving on. It's going to be Indiana versus Miami in Miami's home stadium. A pro stadium, but their home stadium. Down in, Miami Gardens, Florida, something like that. Hard Rock Stadium, where the Dolphins play. And the Dolphins call home. And I think Indiana takes home the national championship. That's my honest opinion. My co-host Rob thinks the Ducks are going to win the rematch, and it is very hard to win a rematch. It is. But Indiana went into the Oregon Stadium, Autzen, and stole their lunch, man. Ate their lunch and stole it and walked out with it. Took the girl. And, yeah, it's crazy, man. So, it's just, I don't think Oregon will lay down easily. They will put up a tough fight. They will. Oregon is no joke. They will put up a tough fight, all right? But Indiana prevails, okay? Hoosier hysteria continues all the way down to Miami. Book your tickets. Book a flight. Purchase those tickets to the National Championship, Indiana. You might never reach it again. I think you probably will, but as an Alabama fan, Ray J says, I don't even want to talk about the game against IU. Man, 38-3, we can talk about it. Y'all got steamrolled, punked, absolutely mollywopped, and embarrassed. It was bad. The Rose Bowl, Indiana's first ever win in the Rose Bowl in just their second ever appearance. Hoosiers take the Rose for the first time in program history. Chris Signetti making history. First Big Ten championship in history. First Rose Bowl in history. I'm sorry, second Big Ten championship. Of course, 1967. And then January 1st, 1968 Rose Bowl. The Hoosiers won the Big Ten in 67 and won it in 2025. What do you know? Took it from my Buckeyes, 13-10. Went out to Pasadena, in a rainy Pasadena, unfortunately, but it was nice for the game. And 38-3, Crimson Tide get creamed, crushed, and demoralized out in usually sunny Pasadena, California, out in LA. Not many people joining the stream right now, 11 and a half minutes in. Hopefully some others jump in as we get going tonight. I'm going to try and go for 30 to 40 minutes. We'll see how things go. Now, I've got my notes here. I do. The Fiesta Bowl, obviously, out in Phoenix. Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback from Ferris State, which is just up the road from me, not far north of where I live, taking on Carson Beck. I'm not a big Carson Beck believer, but he didn't turn it over versus an experienced Ohio State secondary with Downs, Igbenos, and Matthews, and the crew. They couldn't pick him off. Julian Saint did get picked off. That was the difference in the ball game, along with the field goal missed. I think Ole Miss is capable, but it's not probable that they win this Fiesta Bowl. Their first college football playoff semifinal in program history. My boy Dave Johnson. Love to have him on this week and discuss the game. The contest, of course, Thursday and Friday night. Should be a lot of fun watching the Fiesta. But the Peach is the one I'm more interested in as a Big Ten fan. Indiana versus Oregon. I do not want Oregon to win. Why? Because Curt Signetti is older, much older than Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning has a good 30 years left in him, whereas Curt Signetti has about 10. I'd rather an old Dodger, an old codger, win a national championship than Dan Lanning get a foothold. I'd rather Indiana, a perennial doormat, once the losingest program in college football history. I'd rather Indiana win than Oregon be able to squawk and talk their junk and talk their mess, pretend like they've been a big boy for the entirety of college football when really they've only been a big boy for 25 years now. The Oregon Ducks were nothing before Chip Kelly, were nothing before Marcus Mariota, were nothing before Joey Harrington, were nothing before these running backs, Masoli. I'm blanking on some other great Oregon Duck running back names, but they were nothing before these guys, man. These wide receivers, these quarterbacks. Dante Moore is nice, right? 3,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. To Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, 3,200 yards as well. 36 touchdowns, though, and only 6 picks thrown for Mr. Mendoza, Mr. Heisman. You better put some respect on Mendoza's name, coming out of Cal Berkeley to lead Bloomington and Hoosier hysteria into the CFP semis. So, what a fun matchup, man. Of course, we got some defensive dominators as well. We've got Mr. Hardy for Indiana. Got 8 sacks and 93 tackles on the year. He's a monster, man. He's a bull. And I'm glad we didn't have to face them twice this year like we did Oregon 2 years ago. Indiana's tough, man. They play blitz. They blitz a lot. They bring a lot of pressure. They bring a lot of heat to the quarterbacks, and it's hard to deal with. Now, Tuioti for Oregon leads the Ducks with 9.5 sacks, and then a throwback linebacker, Bichetter, 125 tackles. That's some James Laurinaitis, A.J. Hawk, Matt Wilhelm type of numbers from the early to mid-2000s and late 2000s. James Laurinaitis was anyway. And Those are old school tackle numbers for linebackers. Now, um, I do want to talk Kyle Whittingham in Michigan as well. If you guys are more interested in that instead of college football playoff semifinals, of course I'll talk that and discuss Kyle Whittingham and his future to you guys. If you're interested in that, I'll be more than happy to share about what Kyle brings to the Wolverine program. Now, Kyle Whittingham, in my opinion, my estimation, he is a very good man. He's a good leader of men. He's a good mentor for these young men in Ann Arbor. Sharon Moore was none of the above. Not a good man, not a good husband, not a good father, not a good role model for these men to follow. Clearly, there's reports that he was DMing some OnlyFans models at the halftime of the Ohio State game. The addiction was real. The lust was deep, and he could not control himself. That's unfortunate. Now, I'm not speaking off a high horse. I got my own issues, of course, my own history, my own things that I deal with as well. But from a football perspective and a leader of men perspective, he was not cut out or fit for the job in either capacity, whether that be football speaking or to lead men into more healthy versions of themselves. He was not healthy himself, so therefore he could not lead men to be more healthy. Make sense? I think it does. Jesus saves, though. Remember that. Jesus saves. Jesus loves you. I ain't coming from a place of condemnation or judgment. I'm just coming from a place of factual evidence before me and making my opinion made and my opinion known about Sharon Moore, about Jim Harbaugh, about Brady Hoke, about Rich Rod, about Lloyd Carr, about Gary Moeller, about Bo Schembechler, about any other coach in Michigan history, whether it be Fielding H. Yost, whether it be Mr. Chrysler, whoever you're talking about, man. Michigan men are not people to follow, in my opinion. Perhaps outside of Bo, perhaps outside of some other equipment managers or low-level staffers. Now, we're talking basketball, man. The Wolverine basketball team dominating, of course. Dusty May, undefeated, blowing everybody out the water. Ohio State took their fourth L, 2-2 in the conference. Dropped one to undefeated Nebraska last night. But we're talking Kyle Whittingham. Now, Kyle Whittingham, he spent some years at Utah, 18, I believe, and he stepped down this year, I think, to take this Michigan head coaching job. It was offered to him, it was presented to him, and he decided to step up to the plate and answer the call. Urban Meyer said that is not a job you ever turn down. Even as a Buckeye through and through, you do not turn down the Michigan job because it is one of the pristine and premier jobs in all of college football. There's no denying that. It is one of the destination jobs in America in college football. Now, they won a national championship in 2023, so that means they're not going to care about one for another 25 years. Winning one, 23 years, I guess I should say. Went from 1997 to 2023, 26 years without winning a national championship, without playing for a national championship. They won their only one they played for in 97. They won the only one they played for in 2023. So they have capitalized on the opportunities when they have the best team in America. They don't have that very often. Kyle Whittingham will not bring that to Ann Arbor. He is not the best coach in America. That coach resides either in Columbus, Ohio, in Athens, Georgia, in Bloomington, Indiana, in Austin, Texas, or in Eugene, Oregon. Those are the best 5 coaches in America. Obviously, we're talking Lanning, Sarkisian, Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, and of course, Kurt Signetti. Now, Lane Kiffin ditched his Ole Miss squad to go to LSU. Thought it was better and brighter opportunity over there. I don't think so. I think he's wrong. I think he's mistaken. I think he's stupid. I think he's an arrogant prick also. So I'll put that out there. Arrogant prick. Stupid. Stupid. Stupid, man. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Hey, what's going on, Matt? Hey, man, I think Lane Kiffin's stupid. I think he should have won a national championship. He just left his boys and his fellas. Like, that's ridiculous. That's dumb, man. That's so dumb. And it looks like a weak move to me. That's not how you lead men. That's not how you take care of men you recruit and invest in. Uh, would you move there so your daughter can date weeks longer and get engaged or something? You trying to build a football dynasty or something? Like, what are you doing out here, Lane Kiffin? I don't agree with that move, but we are talking Kyle Whittingham right now. We're kind of freestyling here. 20 minutes in, we got 3 viewers on the line. Wish I could have a call-in line, call-in link. That would be a lot of fun, actually. Um, yeah. I'm gonna try something here. Bear with me as I type something out here. Will Whittingham succeed as the Michigan head coach? And what does success look like? What does it look like? What does it look like? Will Kyle Whittingham succeed? I do not want that right in my face, dog. Are you kidding me? That's got to be moved somewhere else. All right. So, will Kyle Whittingham succeed, or will it be a total flop and a total failure? Let's see if we get some responses here. Never done anything like this before on a live, but this should be fun to see if we get any kind of responses from the 3 that are watching. I think he'll have moderate success. I think he'll make the playoffs 3 out of 5 years. 3/5 of the time, obviously. So 60% of the time. Yeah, that's Buckeye math. What you know about it? And I think he could win a Big Ten championship in his time in Ann Arbor. Do I think he can win a national championship? Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Now I think he'll only be there 5 or 6 years. I truthfully do. Man is 66 already. He'll be 71 here in 5 years when his contract expires. They might, extend his contract by a year or two to be 72 or 73, but he's not coaching past 7 seasons. He's not doing it. I don't care what anybody says, man. It's not happening. So Kyle Whittingham will be here no longer than 7 complete seasons. So that's entering 2026. We're talking to 2033. Lord willing, I'll still be alive. Lord willing, everybody will still be alive that's watching this live right now in 2033, the year 2033, the year of our Lord. We'll find out. I don't think Kyle Whittingham will be uber successful. I think the program will be run better by the time 2028 comes around. Less off the field issues, and I do agree with that because he's a good man. He's clearly a good man. That's evident. He is a very good man. So I think he will stabilize, energize, and bring an equilibrium and balance to the Wolverine program that's been missing since their precious savior Harbaugh left. That's my opinion. He's a good man. He will bring stability. He will bring energy. He will bring charisma and passion in recruiting and energize the Wolverine and the Michigan fan base and perhaps their pockets. Their pocketbooks as well. I'll give him one Big Ten title, one Big Ten championship in his 7 seasons. I will give him one college football playoff semifinal. And no, I don't think they win a national championship. And my buddy Crawford agrees. My mother as well, watching, agrees. He will find success, but not nationally. Big Ten regionally, sure. Can he compete with Signetti, Day, Lanning, maybe even Riley? Is Riley one of the top 5 coaches in America? No. Top 10? Sure, I guess. Yeah, sure. I put Lincoln Riley in the top 10 based on what he's done. 3 Heismans, multiple conference crowns, no Pac-12 titles, no Big Ten titles. Kyle Whittingham won those titles. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, he's in Ann Arbor now. But I want to try and stretch this out to 30 minutes, and I'm probably jumping off here at 30-minute mark, unless we get a big boom and a swoon in views here. We'll go for another 5 minutes. Kyle Whittingham, drop your thoughts and opinions. Record year 1 Somebody, if you could pull up the record for me for Kyle Whittingham and the Michigan Wolverines. I know they host the Oklahoma Sooners, a game I'd love to attend, or at least tailgate for, up in Ann Arbor. Bloomington, Indiana, I'm going to the game next year. Lord willing, fund willing. I'll be in Bloomington, Indiana to see Ohio State take on Indiana next year. Don't know when that game will be, if it's going to be a September and October or a November matchup. Will Woodham go to the Ohio State JT Barrett Florida Tebow model with Underwood? I mean, they did pretty well, and he's recruited mobile quarterbacks throughout his tenure there. I remember in 2014 when they came to Ann Arbor and won, they had a scrambling quarterback. Cam Rising was a mobile dual threat quarterback, although he's better at passing. He recruits quarterbacks that are better at passing than they are running, but he recruits quarterbacks that run and that can run. So I don't think he goes Lamar Jackson, Mike Vick, Braxton Miller type guys. I think he goes after guys like Cam Newton, guys like maybe a Vince Young, or a Justin Fields, a guy that can pass. Yeah, Rising was for sure a passer, and he could definitely scramble though too. And in 15, they had a scrambling quarterback too. I think it was the same guy in 14 that came to Ann Arbor. And in 2015, they give Harbaugh first L of his tenure. His first game was a road game in Salt Lake City, and a game in which Utah won. So Kyle Whittingham and Utah are actually 2-1 all time versus the Wolverines. Now he's their head coach because they couldn't beat him. So, Cam Rising, I'd have to go watch that Rose Bowl again. What a fun matchup that was. CJ Stroud versus Cam Rising, man. So fun. So fun. What a game. Obviously, JSN went off for 300 and some odd yards receiving. That was crazy. Crazy. But yeah, the Buckeyes won that one. I think 45-42 was the final out in Pasadena. That was our last correction. No, it was not. We beat Washington in the Rose Bowl in Urban's last game. We beat Utah in the Rose in Day's first Rose Bowl. And then we beat Oregon in the Rose last year, which was the quarterfinal. Just stomped them 34-8, I think was the final, or 34-14, or whatever it was. Oh, in Pasadena. Yeah, so drop your scores down below. I'm going to jump off real soon here. Ole Miss and Miami out in Phoenix, home of the Cardinals. And then, of course, Canes and Hoosiers down in Atlanta, the ATL in the Peach Bowl. The Fiesta and the Peach. Drop your score predictions before I jump off. Would love to hear your thoughts. Miami 24, Ole Miss 23. A barn burner we've got, according to Crawford here. That would be phenomenal. Wow. I'd love to see that. Chambliss versus Beck, man. Chambliss versus Beck. That'll be fun to watch. And then Indiana 30, Ducks 24. So both games pretty much staying 30 and under, according to Crawford here. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, defenses are usually better on these semifinal teams. Offenses a little nervous and shaky to start the game with so much on the line. The national title game appearance at stake and up for grabs. What's up, Williams? What's up, Williams Dill? What's up, man? What's good? What's good? Hey, drop your prediction, man, for the finals, the semifinals. Fiesta Bowl, Ole Miss, Miami, Peach Bowl, Indiana, Oregon. What you got, man? We're dropping scores, and we're going to drop off the live here real soon, Will. We are going to drop off. Bro, I do remember the name. It's been a minute. I remember your name popping up, though. I remember the numbers, and I remember William Dill. Yeah, for sure. Will Dill, for sure. Thanks for joining in, man. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for real. Thanks for joining in. That's big time to see you again. That's cool. We'd love to see our boy Rand City from Georgia, Georgia fan base again. But, bro, we worked together at the dealership. Oh, wow. That's right. We sure did, bro. Will, what's good, man? Yeah. I remember. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure, man. That's cool. Thanks for joining in. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. clearly dropped some pounds. No, but anyway. Hey, we're trying to talk semifinals here, man. It should be a lot of fun. My Buckeyes are not involved, of course. Not involved. Yeah, we sure did work at that dealership, man. Yeah, I've been talking about that a lot recently because one of my good friends is selling cars now, and he's running the same issues that we did. Oh, a lot of crazy stuff, man. A lot of crazy stuff, man. Used car sales is a racket, but I imagine new car sales a lot better, a lot less slimy. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off. Enjoyed the broadcast tonight. Only 30 minutes as opposed to an hour. It's a lot harder to go an hour when I'm not having somebody to talk back and forth with again. But yeah, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing good, man. I am doing well. Yeah, moved over to GR area, the other side of the state, man, doing well. So, hey, man, shoot me a text, bro. And yeah, we'll talk. We'll chop it up. All right, Will. All right, Matt. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining in tonight. Go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one. OH.